Hey everyone, Bryan Baylon here. Thank you for joining and watching this video. If you are first time here, thank you so much for checking this channel out. This is a real estate channel. I'm a local Phoenix realtor. And if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, but also like and comment on the video. Your support is greatly appreciated. So today's topic is assisted living home investing. So this one I feel like is a little bit unique in that it's not widely known or understood. And that's actually a disadvantage because there is plenty of benefits to doing this kind of investing in real estate. So what is assisted living? When I talk about assisted living, what I'm talking about is assisted living for the elderly. Basically people who need it from supervisory care to actual directed care where they need help with activities of daily living. And so a neat way that it was put to me was that everyone will be participating in assisted living. It just depends how. So, everyone's going to get old, or if barring that nothing happens to you, we'll all make it to old age. And we're going to have to engage in some level of assisted living because, as we age, it'll be more difficult to take care of ourselves. So this one of the benefits of being able to do assisted living is that you could create your own retirement home so that you know who you've put there, the standards and all that kind of stuff. So you'll be taken care of at the end of your life as well. A couple other benefits. So as an investment, it's fantastic because a traditional rental, there's market rates, right? So, you get a single family home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square feet, do 1,500 to 1,700 maybe a month. That same house, let's say it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath for 1,700, you could charge nearly double the rent on that kind of property if it was an assisted living home rental. So, thinking nearly $3,000 a month for that same house. So you can charge $3,000 a month, and check this, there's no maintenance costs. So since the renter, the tenant, right, so you're the landlord and you're renting it out to a tenant, since the tenant's renting it and they're running a business on it, they're responsible for all of the repairs and maintenance of the household. In a traditional rental, if you do that, your house might be in bad shape, but because they're running the business and the Department of Health Services has a standard for the house to be in, meaning it can't just be left alone and deferred maintenance. It has to be inspected and approved by an inspector. An inspector will actually come out and check, a little bit of things here and there, from leaks to, do you have everything, all the, code, the fire extinguishers, do you have all the ramps set up, are there any just defects with the home? I mean, it has to look decent, like it has to pass their test. And because of that, they're held accountable even by Department of Health Services to keep running their business. So they'll take care of all the maintenance costs. Then, since it also is a business, you're doing a 3 to 5 year lease. So you're not having to get new people every single time to do tenants to rent your property. So you're 3 to 5 years. Sometimes they'll stay longer, or maybe even interested in buying the property from you, which would be neat as well. And then you can take a larger deposit because there's a business that's running on your property as well. So you can, of course, it's all negotiable. But then you have a larger cushion for those 3 to 5 years for, in whatever, you need, incidentals or, anything that happens. So compared to a traditional rental, it has a lot of benefits, a lot more income. It just takes a little bit more work, right, to find that tenant who's ready to own and operate a business on your property. And then another thing too is it comes with liabilities. So, you're taking care of people in old age, people in old age fall. And if they get hurt on your property, you could also be liable. So having insurance is very critical. Having the right contracts is very critical, and knowing who the tenant is and if they have a history in assisted living or if this is their first time. Do they have any medical background, or are they hiring somebody with medical background, or do they just go to school to get a manager's license, which can vary with check out their experience and vet that as well. So what are some tips to investing wisely. So one is just find a good location. One of the most difficult things, probably the number one issue that I hear most assisted living homeowners have is finding clients. If you are, let's say you're not have a medical background, you are an investor, you start one, and you have a really nice home, you're in a decent area. They ask you, what's your background, what your medical background, or any of your employees have medical background, and you don't. Ultimately, that's what's most important to a client is what's the level of care. Of course, they need social proof, they need testimonials, and they also need medical background if you don't have either, if you're new. So it is tough, right? So you're having to look for people who are willing to, just maybe it's cost or, they just, maybe you have a good relationship with them and then they're just going to trust you with their loved one. But yeah, that is very tough. But when you're in a good location, that also will set the sort of price point that your clients will be at. So if you're, if take average house prices or even the average incomes of a neighborhood, and once you get the word out in that neighborhood, then you can slowly grow your business. Try to get a 4-bedroom minimum, and by the way, 1 story only, right? Because you're not going to have the elderly climbing up the stairs, and DHS won't even allow that anyway. But a 1 story with 4 bedrooms, 5 is preferable. Or if you have the mind or the eye for it, get a house that you can add a room into, so you can have 5 bedrooms. So there's 2 tiers we'll deal with, but there's really more than 2 tiers. You can be licensed for 5 bedrooms or 5 patients really, or licensed for 10 patients, and you can have a 5-bedroom license for 10 patients. But with 5, the stipulations there are. Basically, you just have to have the ramps, the fire extinguishers, exit signs. Of course, the house needs to be in solid shape, ADA accessible for showers and everything. There's ample room. You might need to modify the bathrooms, maybe some of the hallways or doors, but it has to be ADA compliant. So there's that. If you're doing a 10-bedroom, though, let's say you license for 10, let's say you have 5 or 6 beds, or you turn a garage into 2 rooms, and you're licensed for more than 5, which is the max is 10, but it doesn't have to be 10. You can do 7 or 8 or 9. If you're licensed for that much, then the stipulations are a little different. You're going to need to have a fire alarm on property, which is hooked up to the fire station. And that if it triggers, they're going to come right away, basically calls the ambulance for you to check out the firefighters to come out. And also a fire alarm as well is also an additional facet of having a certification for 10, license for 10 beds. So a couple other things here if you're an RN or if you have a background in nursing, or even if you're a CNA or something, right, in the medical field, it's a major advantage for you because you have the education, and you may have even experience, which is even better if you've worked at a hospital or some kind of medical home health or something where you've actually done it, and a company has or a hospital has said, hey, we trust you. You've worked here long enough. You have the resume. That's going to help you a lot in terms of your marketing, because, they're going to look, the potential client's going to look at your, how nice your house, how clean it is, right? It's just somewhere where you could trust the feel, right? Can I trust my loved one here with these people taking care of them? But also the quality of care, right? Are they going to get their needs met? And one of the ways they feel good about that is by having the education. And also finding tenants. So you're the investor, you're not going to be running the property, right? So, or operating the property. So finding tenants, you can network with assisted living homeowners in the area or just in general. You can actually go on the DHS website and find assisted living homes, the names of the homes, the addresses of the homes, and a contact number that they've put. And it's just public info, which is kind of neat. And then you'll have sometimes these assisted living homeowners will do multiple homes. So if they own even 1 or 2, they might be wanting to open a 3rd or 4th and just rent it first, get the cash flow, and then open up, buy their own or buy it from you, and then or start another assisted living. You can also go to caregiver schools and manager schools for employees. They also have those kinds of schools in town, right? In Phoenix, especially, they have caregiver training, manager training. Sometimes they're run by nurses and owned by nurses that will train for the education piece, but also for practical. They'll actually show you how or teach you how to, take care of a patient, and be hands-on. So you can also get caregivers and employees there. You can also find managers if you're just having somebody run it, and you're going to pay them a salary. And you can even just network there to find somebody who would possibly want to open their own, if not now, then someday. It really is. It's definitely a little bit more work. It's a little bit more involved and upfront. But once you get it rolling, 3 to 5 years, you set. I wouldn't say exactly forget. You definitely want to keep in touch with them for sure. And make sure everything's going well. Check the house every once in a while and make sure their patients are doing well. Their success is going to be your success too, right? So yeah. But the benefits are, it's another avenue for real estate investing. And if you're interested, you can contact me. I'll put my information in the description below, so you can reach out to me for any questions you have. Even if you're not looking to do it in Phoenix, right? Open up your own assisted living home in Phoenix. I can still give you some pointers, because some of this stuff is, pretty much the basic general playbook, if you will, of assisted living homes, generally the same throughout the U.S. with a few minor tweaks depending on state laws. So anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. Hope this helped you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and we will catch you next video.